Good morning, guys. How you doing? Make sure this is recording. I'm sorry, y'all. I should have did that first. Okay, yeah, we are recording. So what it is, today is November the 11th. Hi, I am Cadillac Dixon. I am the Draw My Life prison wife. I am the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping to see justice before it all fades to black. Yeah, it's your girl Cadillac. So, hi, I am here coming before, I have to go to work. I got to clock in. I got home, me and my little cuz, we always, I have several YouTube channels. And his channel over there, we review shows, and he's actually blind. I'm legally blind, so it's kind of the blind leading the blind over there. And he shows himself, cooking blind and stuff like that. And we interview and get into discussions. So we were working on that channel yesterday, and I left my mouse over his house, which is crazy for my little laptop. That laptop is on his last leg, so now I have to have the mouse to, work it. So I came home when I can't work on my YouTube, work on all my projects to get my husband home. Girl, I just went to sleep. I was gone to bed because I'm like, what else can I do with myself? So that's why I'm getting up early this morning and recording this video. I was kind of depressed about my little mouse, girl. And then there's another situation which I didn't hear from Marcello. Oh my gosh. So when I don't hear from him, if you don't know, Marcello and I speak every single day. So I keep giving this scenario. We have a pact that we will speak every day. So when I don't hear from him, I kind of know something happened. Like, it may not be something major, but I know something happened. Something is wrong, whether it's a big wrong or a little wrong. Something's wrong. I hope I don't have nothing on my face, y'all. Because I hate when I record a whole freaking video and then there's something on my face. Excuse me. But yeah, so I know something's wrong, but I don't quite know what. So it may not be nothing major. Hopefully I hear from him, it could also be that I got off of work late, and he already was expecting me to get off at one time, and then they go into count, and then what if it was another count? So it's all types of stuff. But then I'm like, girl, he didn't even send an email. So now that's more, but that first day, we don't worry. We give it a day or sometimes 2 days, because anything literally could have happened. Once the 2 days gone, then okay, that's when I kind of get into worry mode. So that's where we are today. I haven't heard from him yesterday. I would have thought he would have tried to call me this morning before I go to work. So that too is kind of alarming me. But I am going to try my best not to get into worration. And just to let you guys know how this life is, I will let you know what happened after, that worry. I do have a video that I'll link in the description box about that, where I was completely worried about Marcello from not hearing from him in a couple days. But it was my sister's 31st birthday, I'm sorry. And it was like, I can't be that damper when I'm supposed to be happy and celebrating with her. My sister went through so many problems. Like, she didn't, think that she would even reach 20. Yes, my sister has suffered from seizures since the age of 3. She's epileptic. Her seizures are really bad. They're horrible seizures. She's hurt herself. She's knocked her teeth out. So I'm her caregiver, basically. I'm her big sister, but I don't look at it like that. That's my sister. Like, girl, I spend time with you because I love you. Even though we used to try to tear each other head, she used to be coming for my head. I remember one fight. I had my daughter money on my arm, and she would try to fight me with my little daughter in my arm. I remember, but I love her. We have grown past that, and we're very close. And I couldn't let that time with her pass, being on this prison wife path. So you kind of got to balance real life and prison wife, and that's what that video is about. You really got to get good at that if you're going to be a prison wife, because if you're only in tuned in prison wife stuff, girl, you're going to be alarmed all the time. You're always going to be worried. You're always going to be on edge. You got to learn how to deal with that now, because it's always going to be something. Because, girl, it gets to be teen way too much. But I done talk way too much just to introduce this video. But y'all know how your girl is. Okay, so it was initially 10 misconceptions, but now it's 11 because I thought of 11. I got some little inspiration. I was watching my girl, Ro Clausen. I haven't watched her videos in a long time, and I'm like, girl, what have I been doing? It's just I've been getting like super, super busy. And I usually watch other content creators and stuff like that. I don't just, be on YouTube, just my stuff. I actually support and watch other people's. So I got an idea this morning, and it is from her. So I want to do 11 misconceptions about prison wives. Girl, y'all gonna hear every car that go by? And if y'all want to know why I'm always in the car, my dad is actually like remodeling the house. The house is being remodeled, so it's not really a good place in the house to record. So, girl, as soon as it's remodeled, we'll be inside the house and not outside the house at all times of night, on the side of people's houses, in the parking lots, and girl, it'll get a lot better. Okay, so number one. Now, this did come from, it was a show called The Prison Wives Club that it came out before, but for some reason, nobody really cared about it until, the shutdown happened. And they all of a sudden put it online, and people were loving it. And I felt like the show got really good, and then it kind of freaking ended like crazily. Like, I didn't even get to see, like, it got to the point where you were following these people and you were liking these characters, which are real people, but liking their life experiences, and you could relate to them, and then boom, they're gone. Okay, so that was an episode, not just some raggedy prison wife. Okay, so the number one misconception of prison wives is that you are just lower class. You don't got much going for yourself. You look raggedy. He was saying, like, it was this guy that actually reviewed that video, and he was saying that most prison wives are bad bodied. They're basically ugly. I'm like, where in the world? What prison wife? Number one, I'm sure he hadn't met any. These are misconceptions that he is gathering from social media, from other people, from people that heard stuff about other people and stuff like that. Like, unless you really know a prison wife, like, how could you really say, how they are? No, not all prison wives are bad body. I know I got a little thickness on me right now. A lot of times now, prison wives don't actually live up to their full, like, beauty potential, because, beauty takes time. A woman or anybody that, dresses up in that manner knows that beauty takes time. Like, there's a such thing as natural beauty. Yes, I think we all possess natural beauty, but that glamorized beauty that we like to get into, like when we go to visitation, girl, that takes time. Doing that hair, that could take you an all day like session. Doing that makeup takes time. So, I mean, days that you don't have on makeup and the days that your hair is like a freaking bird's nest, like my braids clearly need to be redone. Like, I've been crying out for help, but I have carpal tunnel. Side note, I'm a cosmetologist, and for cosmetologists, you already know they have a certain way, like, they don't want nobody else doing their hair because they're like, no, I could just do it myself. It's that little cosmetology mentality. So I had gotten so engulfed into doing my own hair for years upon years upon years that I kind of feel like I don't know, it's a disservice to myself when I let someone else do my hair. So, my daughter, she started doing hair, but girl, she is too busy. We'll fill you in about her in a little bit, but girl got her own thing going on. My little baby, our little baby done grew up and left her little mama. She gone, girl. So I'm going through empty nest syndrome. I'm going through a lot at one time. So she's supposed to come through and do my hair, but every time she gets ready to, I get ready to let her do my hair, she's like, oh, but mom, I'll come the day after tomorrow, and then the next day, and then it's like we just keep rescheduling. So I'm like, girl, that's not going to happen. So I am going to have to get to, get it together. But it's always a battle because you have your beauty regimen and getting your nails done and the things you like to do. Or I always look at it as like that time that I'm spending doing that, I could be over here calling a lawyer, emailing somebody, reaching out to somebody, following up with somebody. So you only have so many hours in the day. And it's like, where are you going to place those most important time slots for things to do? And for me, beauty and that stuff is not more important than fighting my husband's wrongful conviction. So a lot of times we are not, living up to our best beauty potential, but it's because we're freaking busy. If we weren't so busy, I'm sure we would be doing that. So a lot of times they want to just call you a raggedy prison white girl. And plus, beauty is what's on the inside. And many of us prison wives are much more beautiful than a lot of other women that are out there that are lacking character. They could be fully beautiful on the outside, but they may not have those beautiful qualities that we have. I'm not saying that they don't, but they may not. So judge people by the inside, and baby, on the inside, I am very beautiful, like for real. And when I started this role with Marcello, like your girl had it all together, like for real. The hair, the nails. I mentioned I was a cosmetologist, so none of that stayed out of place. I had a really nice body, though I have a really nice body being, with more pounds, but I don't know. They try to see us as we are raggedy, and it's just not so. Like, girl, I have met so many beautiful prison wives. I've seen so many. Like, what prison wives are you looking at? Okay. So we are at 2. Fantasize. Okay, 2 is a 2-part. Okay, fantasize. We live in La La Land and think that it's going to be all perfect once he comes home. Then there's a second part. We're delusional. Okay, just believe everything that he says. Maybe I should do the delusional part first. Everything that this man says, we just believe it. We're so naive that he says the sky is green, and baby, the sky is green. Like, they just think that is how we are. Like, every single thing he says, when, oh, you always say Marcello's getting in trouble, that he ain't did nothing, but he had to be doing something if he's steady getting in trouble. Like, things like that. So I am not delusional. I don't always just take Marcello's word for it. I do believe him initially. I always give people the benefit of the doubt, but sometimes I have my what do you call those? Oh, I don't have the right word for it. But the things that I believe that could possibly not be so true. And girl, I do my research. Like, I find out myself, did this really happen? I try to find different ways to research what he said. What he said happens. Does that happen? Can that be so? You know what I'm saying? Because also to yourself, even when Marcello was wrongfully convicted, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, I did not believe him at first. I did not believe that. I was like, no, Marcello, there is no way that they got you in jail. This is pre-trial. There's no way that they got you in jail and you didn't do something. Like, you had to have done something. I didn't believe that. So that's a misconception, that we just believe in and just take everything that they say. No, baby, we have our guards up. We know how to discern what sounds truthful, what doesn't, how to do our research. Girl, you know we know how to do our research. So that is a misconception. And then the second part of that was fantasize. We live in la la land and think that it's going to be all fine once they come home. I was about to say once Marcello come home, but girl, I know it's not going to be perfect when Marcello comes home. I know that. And the thing is, to the outside eye, it looks as though I'm living my life for that one day that he comes home. And I won't get too far into that because that is another point on my list. But no, baby, I know it's going to be hard. I know financially it's going to be hard, because he has to find a job. He has to find, he actually wants to have his own business, which is a great mind frame. I want my own business. I have been struggling to start my own business. I have been an entrepreneur probably from the day I was born, but I've always worked for other people, which makes me unhappy. But it would be great to be on this entrepreneurship with my best friend, like my oh my gosh, my lover, my husband, my everything. Like, it would be so great. But reality is that the business may take for him just as long as it's taken for me. So in between time, he's going to need employment. A lot of times when guys are incarcerated, they get out. People don't want to give them chances. Housing has been something I have been thinking about. What will I do when he comes home? Like, if he's not exonerated, which he should clearly be because he is freaking wrongfully convicted, but the system doesn't work like that. So the only thing that he most likely could get out on is if the laws in Florida change and reduces his time, or if on some technicality he can get a reduced sentence or something like that. Those are the biggest things we're looking into, because as far as the state of Florida doing what's right, that looks like that's not going to happen. They got his story buried underground, and it's for a reason. They don't want to address that they put a innocent man in prison, and most likely that is you're gonna be ignored more when you're wrongfully convicted than if you were convicted and just you deserve a second chance. I don't think it's gonna be perfect. We haven't been around each other like physically in a long time, and I was around him before, and I know there was freaking things about him that annoyed the heck out of me. He got on my last nerve. Like, girl, he did. I'm going to be honest with you. So it would be a fantasy if he came home and he didn't get on my nerves. Like, girl, that's going to happen. I got on his nerves. He said that the day that I advised him, please don't go downtown. And I got into that in one of these previous videos, that I felt like if he didn't go downtown and I didn't drop him off, he wouldn't even be wrongfully convicted. But I was told when I would advise him certain places he shouldn't go, that I moved away from my mother and I didn't need a second mother. So, girl, like, do you think those things? Now, I know he's a lot older. If he gonna be on them straights, girl, I don't care how long I waited. I cannot wait for you again if you're gonna be out there in them streets. No, baby. And this was a once in a lifetime deal. Your girl cannot go there anymore. But to think that it won't be, problems once he come home, that's fantasy. That is freaking fantasy. Just as far as, like, we don't agree on a lot of stuff. Me and Marcello are opposites. So we're probably going to disagree on how the house should be maintained, how this should be done, how that should be done. So I know it won't be perfect when he comes home, but I believe it'll be a lot better than sitting here wanting him, desiring him, and just dreaming about him coming home, than actually living with him and working through our problems together. And that fantasy doesn't reside in my head, though other people construe that and they think I live in this fantasy world. Girl, I don't. What fantasy over here? Okay, so we're on number 3. We're just desperate and just believe. Did I say that? Oh no, I'm reading 2 lines together. Girl, you know your girl legally blind. Okay, so number 3, desperate. Okay, here it is. We're desperate and you can't just get someone that's free. Yes, girl. That video is in the description box. Like, they feel like you just are with somebody in prison because, girl, you clearly can't find no man that's free. And you just want any man that you're going to get one that's in prison. And a lot of times they feel like we get them in prison because they can't go anywhere. Like, of course, a man in prison is at his lowest most times, and he's not going to cheat on you. He's not going to do this, and this, and you always know where he at. So they think that is the reason that we're in these relationships with men that are incarcerated. My situation is different. My man was not incarcerated and he became incarcerated, and I chose to stand by him. So I didn't meet him while he was in prison. But there are people that do meet their loved ones while they're in prison. And I'm sure it is not those reasons. I mean, for a few small percent, it could be those reasons that they are with somebody that's in prison. But most people, they made some kind of connection with them. They reached out to them. They reached back. They connected on certain things. They connected on certain levels. So I don't think it would be that you're just with someone because you're just desperate for a freaking man. Like, and actually, I should tie my number 11 there because I got this out of order. But number 11 feels like it fits right there. Like, you just can't find anybody that's free. Baby, your girl, my name Cadillac. Like, Cadillac. And I told y'all why my name was Cadillac. And if you don't know, I'll just put it in the description box because I ain't going to put all that right here. But your girl was hot. Yes. I used to have any man I wanted. Like, for real. Like, it was your girl, Cadillac. For real. So, why, if I had any choice of man out here, would I be desperate to just have a man that's in prison so that I can just say I have a man? That doesn't make